got a seat right over here, sir. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Let's try that again. Good morning. Good morning. I know you all are excited about the potential for a blizzard. So where's that excitement at, right? There we go. Glad you made it to DC before that happened, right? So, my name is Kevin Nunley. I have the pleasure of serving as the Vice President of Student Affairs here at the Washington Center. And what that means is I oversee our Student Services Community Life team, our Academic Internships team, and our Academic Seminars team. So pretty much everything that deals with the student experience. Before we launch into our official orientation, I have a couple of housekeeping announcements that I want to share with you all, okay? First and foremost, for those of you who are here and in your seats on time, I'm looking at the left side of the room, congratulations, punctuality is important, okay? For those of you who are coming in now, keep in mind that once we start many of our programs, we will not allow entry. So you'll be asked to step into our overflow rooms. So for our other full body programs throughout the semester, we have overflow rooms where you can watch it via live streaming. Speaking of live streaming, there's a camera right here in front of us, okay? So as we're conducting our programs, we are streaming commencement, orientation, those types of things, because we want other people to be able to see what's happening. Our headquarters, some of our alums, some other folks who couldn't be here today. So just know that when you're walking, that this camera's on. So if you cross in front of it, it's gonna catch you, okay? With that same connotation in mind, if you should, for some reason, have to leave the room in the hour that we're in here, all right? Please do so as quietly as possible, as unobtrusively as possible. These doors have a tendency to kind of bang when they shut, so hold them close so that they can shut softly, all right? And then if you do leave, typically we're gonna say you can't come back in, all right? So there goes those overflow rooms. Cool? Everybody nod with me. There we go, excellent. All right, if you need seats, guys, there's a ton of seats back here behind the column. Come on over. We'll work on it today. It's orientation. All about learning, right? The last thing I'll say from a housekeeping point of view, and then I'll get started with the official program, is that when we're having our full student meetings like this, whether that be our Some Similar Leader series, whether it be orientation, commencement, other things, if for some reason the fire alarm should go off, the way we evacuate this room when it's full is that if you're at this section over here, so if you look with me over here, where this row of chairs is facing us, those folks are all going to go out that door that says exit, okay? Our team's going to help them do that. It goes straight into the alley, and then they'll help you get to the evacuation site, all right? If you're sitting from this column, this one, over, you're going to go out this door here. Not that one, this one, the one closest to the screens, okay? That will take you up a stairwell and out our back patio area. If you haven't explored the raft yet, we have a patio. Probably won't use it much in the snow, but it's there, okay? And there's a gate that takes you out into the alley so you can then evacuate. If you're from this column over, you guys will go out this door, and you'll actually go all the way straight down the hallway, past the elevators, out through the garage door, okay? Again, the team will help you do that. They'll help coordinate, move it, open the door, those kind of things. But we want to make sure you know how to quickly move out of this space if we should happen to have a need to evacuate. Everybody got it? Awesome. The lead instructors will chat with you tomorrow about how to evacuate your classrooms. We're having the class experience, okay? All right, are you ready for me to officially start? Excellent, excellent. Here we go. The Washington Center was founded on the belief that the right experience can transform students' lives, setting them on a course of achievement, leadership, and civic responsibility. That is why we immerse qualified college students and professionals in our uniquely intense and productive living, working, and learning environment. You have been selected to be a part of that transformational experience, joining individuals this semester from all over the globe and over 55,000 alumni worldwide. We have used our 40+ years of expertise to design a program that truly allows students to begin their transition from the academic and theoretical worlds into the professional and practical, while still maintaining an understanding of the importance of lifelong learning, all wrapped in a global experience unlike anything many of you have ever participated in before. This experience began with a team of Internship Advisors who collectively worked intentionally and reflectively to ensure that high-quality, substantive internships were matched for each of you. And so I'd like to take a moment to thank that team for their efforts that I know have set each of you on a path that's going to be really, really evolutionary. Let's cheer for them as I call their names. Kinsey Holloway. Katie Mount. Brian Barr. Eliza Allison. And Wayne Japanda. Many of you all have spent weeks and weeks and months with these folks, right? Via phones, emails, Skype, those kind of things. So let's give one more round of applause for them getting you here. Thank you all. As you embark upon your semester in DC with Washington Center, I want you to think about this opportunity in 3 ways. First, I want you to keep in mind that this is an ongoing, continual process and will be shaped by everything and everyone that you encounter in DC. Second, this immersion and transformational evolution will only be as impactful as you allow it to be. You are the driver, we are simply the vehicle. Challenge yourselves to be open to experiences here in DC and pay attention to the nuanced ways you are impacted, changed, and grown. Third, there are going to be moments where you feel like you're on top of a mountain, exhilarated by your achievements, exhilarated by your successes, where you feel like you've conquered the world. There are going to be moments where you feel like you're in the valley and the world's winning, right? Revel in both of those moments, the highs and the lows, the ups and the downs, because all of these moments and how you handle them will shape your future self. Notice as well how many of these experiences are wrapped in the professional realms, in your community, in your walks to work each day, and the people you encounter on those walks. Reflect on how they all connect and how they build upon each other for this experience that you're about to take part in. Keep in mind that there is never a door that you shouldn't walk through. Some of them may be a little bit more intriguing, some may be a little bit more daunting, but all doors are ways to. So this semester, we need to really think about opening as many doors as possible and taking a moment to really think about, where do you see yourself in 15 weeks, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, those types of things. Our team is really ready to help you do that, but you're going to have to really push it, all right? To share more about the way the Washington Center has designed our experience, it's my pleasure to invite to the podium our very own Dr. Alan Gross, the Senior Director of Academic Affairs. Thanks, Alan.
Thank you, Kevin. So I'm Alan Gross, Senior Director of Academic Affairs. I get the pleasure of working with our curriculum development and our outcomes assessment here at the Washington Center. I also direct our evening courses program, and some of you will get to meet my colleagues this afternoon in the courses open house. And I get to teach in that program in the philosophy of law class that looks at the Supreme Court. Originally, I'm from Florida. Any Floridians in the house? Oh, normally I have a few more than that. Okay. And by training, I'm a philosopher. So I did my BA at Furman University. Furman Paladins in the house, good. My master's in philosophy and social policy at American University, probably not many folks from there here, and my PhD from the City University of New York. So my areas of interest are political philosophy, the history of ideas, and the philosophy of education. And it's a real treat and a real privilege for me to get to live in this political and historic city where ideas jump from the books into action. And it's a real privilege for me to be a part of the mission of the Washington Center, where you're going to really push the envelope on what it means to be educated and take a semester to put your own signature on your educational pathway. So I want to challenge you this morning to think about what it means to learn, and to think about what it means to learn from new experiences in particular. We say here that experience transforms, and I'm going to say a little bit about how that happens, but I want you to think about also why that happens and why you should think about this and undertake this path. So think about a couple of scenarios that may be in your future. Fast forward about 5 years, maybe 10 into your career. You're applying for a new job. It's going to take you into a new organization at a new management or leadership level. And you're going to have quite a learning curve with everything that'll be brand new for you. But you jump right into the fire, you survive, and you thrive. Why? Because you're adaptive, and this is a skill you've learned. You observe, you get the lay of the land of the organization, and its marketplace, say, and then you transfer your lessons from previous experience to these new challenges. And as a result, your new organization innovates and it's successful. And it's not going to be the last time that you'll jump into the fire and thrive. All right, or think about another scenario. I know there are a lot of folks here who are interested in justice and law enforcement, right? So you're positioned to move up in a large organization, right? You're going to be moving from being a member of the team to leading the team. You're an emerging leader, and people in your division are going to be looking for you to set a new example and to set strategy and direction as your organization faces challenges that didn't exist a year or two ago, as is so often the case. There's no textbook or field manual for this, but you're still going to be successful because you're confident in your abilities to learn. And you know that the best leaders are lifelong learners, and you're ready to continue that pathway in your new leadership role. So your future of becoming that leader is why you're here doing this today. How is that going to work? This is where I want you to think about the nuts and bolts of learning, right? Don't think of learning as adding more information to an empty bucket, like as if your mind is some kind of empty bucket and you do this by memorization. Instead, we want you to think of learning as a process that's integrative, and we call it integrative learning. And this happens with a series of sort of layered and deeper skills. First, they're skills of drawing connections from diverse contexts, from theory to practice, from what you've learned in your academic training to what you're seeing on the ground, and finding new meaning in each, and learning and drawing new insights. Then there are skills of adapting and transferring your other skills, improving them, making them more flexible, applying them in new challenges, problems, or settings. And then finally, there's one that's really important to us here at the Washington Center, and that's of reflecting strategically on your process of lifelong learning. What have you accomplished so far? What opportunities do you want to take advantage of in the future? And how are you going to prepare yourself to do that? So the heart of the learning that we have sort of imagined for you here is a collection of special experiences, unique experiences, very diverse experiences that we call the Lead Colloquium. LEAD stands for leadership, engagement, achievement, and development. The Lead Colloquium is going to be unlike anything you'll find on a campus. We're not going to ask you to memorize anything. Instead, we've created a series of events and workshops, chances for you to engage with your fellow students, to explore Washington, D.C., and most importantly, to have the space and the room to think and reflect on how you're learning. So some Fridays, we're going to start off just like this, in this room fully open with all of us together, particularly as we explore issues of pressing public concern in our Simpson-Mineta Leaders series. For some of our other events, you'll choose breakout sessions that you want to participate in, whether that's exploring useful career development tactics in our career boot camp, or learning about DC-based organizations and how they define the issues of public concern they want to work on, and how they engage people to make meaningful change on those issues. And in those settings, you may be with 20 or 40 or 60 other folks who all just happen to have that same interest or curiosity. About half of your afternoons will be devoted to exploring DC and its professional arena and the specific professional sector that you chose in your professional track. And you'll undertake explorations often out and about around the city, or sometimes here meeting with professionals who've come from their workplaces to talk with us here. The real core of the learning, though, as you build your bridges to your professional futures, will involve visiting a series of very practical topics that we think will help you personally as you plan and navigate your professional career track in the future. particularly in the 21st century. So about half of your mornings, you'll spend 75 minutes or so here in this building with a small cohort of your colleagues in a series of workshops that will be facilitated by our awesome team of lead instructors who you'll get to meet in just a minute. And you will look at different topics that will be useful. We'll start off with some reflection, self-assessment, and pay attention to the scaffolding of these, right? We'll start off with personal, then look at navigating different aspects of the 21st century workforce and workplace, and then finally coming back to your personal mission for your future. So this is going to be a big picture for you to keep track of. How can you stay on top of this all strategically? And the answer is going to be your TWC portfolio. This will serve two functions. One will be to document everything that you've done this semester when you go back to campus or when you go to grad school interviews or job interviews. You can showcase your accomplishments. But it's also going to be a vehicle for you to reflect on what you've done and what you've learned in all of these different experiences. So fast forward again just a little bit, this time to the end of the semester, and the final assignment that we'll give you we call the Capstone Reflection. This will be a chance for you to write about your experiences and your learning, to tell the story of your semester here in Washington, D.C., and really to make that the first chapter in your lifelong story of professional achievement, right? So be intentional about this. Think about what it means to learn over the next coming weeks. Make the story broad, make it deep, make it integrative, connect all the dots, put your own signature on your semester here in Washington, D.C. You've come from all around the world. You've come to an amazing global city. You've come to a place where there are lots of things for you to do and stay very busy. Start writing that story of your future now. My colleagues and I look forward to those stories at the end of the semester, and we look forward to all of your accomplishments. And so to meet our team of lead instructors, welcome back Kevin Nunley for those introductions. Thank you.
Before I have the lead instructors introduce themselves, we have some colleagues who are standing. So if you have a seat next to you, please raise your hand so we can get folks to a seat. All right, standers, come on over. Don't be shy, I've already called you out. Come on over. Just don't walk in front of the camera, please. Thank you. Yeah, we've got plenty of options for you. No shyness. Go right down the middle aisle there. Keep those hands up. Thank you all. You're doing fantastic. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. As Dr. Gross mentioned, your time here at the Washington Center is going to be further enhanced and shaped by a team of academic instructors who will be working with you in our Lead Colloquium of Professional Track Explorations. The lead instructors, through intentional interactions, programming, reflection, and assignments, will guide and mentor each of you in bridging and connecting your educational experiences within the frameworks of your professional and personal aspirations, your skills, values, and abilities, and assist you in extending your learning beyond campus boundaries into your internship and beyond. I am pleased to introduce you to our lead instructors here at the Washington Center. Team.
Morning, everybody. I'm Aaron Hood. I'm originally from Florida. Got my bachelor's degree in information technology at Florida State University, and my master's degree in higher education administration from North Carolina State University.
Good morning. My name is Amanda McConnell. I'm originally from Iowa. I have my bachelor's in intercultural studies from Hope College and my master's in college student personnel from the University of Maryland College Park.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Asif Majid. I'm from outside Baltimore in Maryland. I received my BA from UMBC in Global Peace Building and Conflict Management and my master's from Georgetown in Conflict Resolution.
Good morning. My name is Alfie Crichton. I'm originally from Israel. I received my bachelor's from the University of California at Berkeley in anthropology, and my master's in international education and development from Columbia University.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Christine Kovac. I am from Chesapeake, Virginia. I received my bachelor's from Florida State University in Family and Child Sciences, and then I received my master's in higher education and student affairs from the University of South Carolina.
Good morning, TWC. My name is Chris Massaros. I'm from Minnesota. I got my BA in philosophy from the University of Michigan and my MA in philosophy from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Hi guys, I'm Danielle Sansing. I'm from Maryland. I have a BA in political science and from George Mason University.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dana Wade. I am originally from the California Bay Area. I received my bachelor's in mass media communications from Hampton University and my master's in education from the City University of New York at Brooklyn College.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Irene Rivera. I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm a lawyer. I did my JD in Puerto Rico, in the University of Puerto Rico, and my master's in law in government procurement is from the George Washington University.
Hi, my name is Sam Lebo. I'm a native of Washington, D.C. I did my bachelor's in public policy from Evergreen State College, and I have a master's in international education from the School for International Training.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to say, and this is off script, that you guys are like the quietest orientation we've ever done. And we appreciate that. Thank you for being here. All right, so I'm Tiffany. I am originally from Florida, and I have my bachelor's in psychology and also my master's in education from Howard University. So welcome, everyone.
So the lead instructors will be the folks who will be guiding you this semester. They'll also be your accountability agents. They will be the folks who ensure that you have a really, really transformational experience along with your supervisors at your internship sites. So let's give them another round of applause. You'll get to know them much better tomorrow at your first Lead Colloquium meeting. So a couple things to think about as we continue our orientation this morning. As I've mentioned to you, our promise to you is one of transformation. So I want you to keep 3 statements in mind and at the forefront of your thoughts as you leap into this internship experience. The first being the idea of theory into practice, that I want you this semester to use every kernel of knowledge that you've gleaned from your academic pursuits at your internship and here in DC in the community. This is your chance to showcase skills, but also to put everything you've learned into practical mode. For example, this may be the first time you use that economics course, right, at your finance firm, or the first time your lab background actually comes in play at the FDA. So really think about how you're going to take everything you've learned for 4 or 5 years and put it into practical mode. Be a superstar for your internship site, right? Show them why they chose you. The second part I want you to keep in the forefront is the ambition and a purpose. We all know that you have ambition. You wouldn't be here if you didn't, right? Nobody chooses to take a break, it's not a break, to take a moment, don't get any ideas in your head, to take a moment of separation from their campus to come to DC, to be in a 4-day-a-week internship, plus a course, plus Friday programming, if you didn't have that ambition. You've got goals that you want to achieve, and so we want you to take those ambitions and those goals and turn them into a purpose. Use this experience to help shape what you want to do with your lives, even if that path turns out to be a surprise. My team has shared with you their backgrounds, and I think this is an opportunity for me to share a little bit about mine. My job now is Vice President of the Washington Center for Student Affairs, and so one would think that that would be what my academic background is in, but my academic background is actually in all science and medicine. I did 3 undergraduate degrees at Virginia Tech and Ferrum College, biology, chemistry, and pre-med, and then I went to medical school and started an MD PhD program, ended up with a master's in biomedical science, and did nuclear radioisotope research for a couple of years. Sounds super exciting, doesn't it? That really didn't fit this person you see in front of you. So I shifted into a counseling mode and did a counseling certificate at UTK. So the reason I share that with you and the reason we've all shared our academic backgrounds with you is that we want you to find your purpose, all right? Use this experience to do so, okay? And the last thing I want you to think about is potential into achievement. All of our interns, all of you sitting in this room, have an amazing amount of inherent potential. We want you to challenge yourself to raise that bar. Turn that potential into achievement. Exceed the requirements you've set for yourself. Exceed the ones that we have set for you. Know that you have the resources to achieve everything that you want to achieve, and that the things you're aspiring to, you can make happen. Use this next 15 weeks to really help shape that concept, okay? I would like to invite to the podium at this moment our very own president of the Washington Center, Mr. Mike Smith.
Thank you, Kevin. Welcome, everyone. On behalf of Ambassador Blinken, whose name you actually see up here, donated a couple of dollars to us. And he and his wife, Melinda. On behalf of the ambassador, our full board of directors, and all my colleagues on the staff, welcome. It's great to have you all with us. You beat the snow. Congratulations. I will keep my remarks brief because you have a very full day and a half or 2 days, depending on the weather, ahead of you. And I want to start by just saying that my comments will cover just 2 or 3 areas. One will be a request to you. The second will be an anecdote of a story of a student who went before you. And the third will be a little bit of advice. So my request to you, if you haven't done it already, tonight, call, email, text someone who helped get you here. Your parents who are helping you pay for it, a professor who turned you on to the Washington Center, a minister, clergy, a cousin. Someone has helped you get to where you are. You owe them your thanks. I think about this every orientation, every check-in. I'm celebrating my 40th year here at the center, and I don't talk about myself too often, but I'm retiring this August. And at pretty much every orientation, every check-in, I wear my father's ring. He died very early in life, left a wife and 3 kids, and my mother put us all through college. And so it's a sentimental day for me, but I want to give you that example so that when you're thinking of who you want to thank, you make sure it's sincere and to the point. The second thing I want to do is give you a brief story of a student who went before you, who interned with Senator Ted Kennedy, late Senator Kennedy. The student was from Boston, although he went to a college in Ohio. And he was very interested in public service, and he wanted to be an elected official at some point. So he worked here for Senator Kennedy as an intern with the Washington Center, and then got a job with the senator back in Massachusetts. And his job initially was really pretty pedestrian. He was a chauffeur. When Kennedy would come back to Massachusetts for the weekend, Rob would pick him up Saturday morning, and they'd travel around the state together. And through that, Rob obviously got a great introduction to politics, campaigning, and then later on went on and ran for the Boston City Council. At age 29, he would have been the youngest city councilor ever. Would have been. Lost by 17 votes. This is after spending 6 months working for a state representative in Massachusetts, and then each night going out canvassing the neighborhood, knocking on doors. He knew he had touched every base in his district when he knocked on the door one night and the guy said, hi, how are you? And Rob said, I'm running for Boston City Council. I've got a pen I'd like to give you. And the guy pulled a pen out of his pocket and said, you were here 3 weeks ago. So I guess he knew he had hit every house in the district at least once. I called him the next day. I knew he was running and asked him how disappointed he was, having come so close after such hard work. And he was very upbeat. He said, I'm not disappointed at all. I learned a lot. I learned some things about myself. I know how to do it better next time. I didn't connect the way I wanted to. My speeches were too canned. I'm going to make it more personal. He thought back to all the things he learned and all the mistakes he made. And that's what he said he was going to correct. 2 years later, he ran again, and he was elected 5 times thereafter. He's now in his early 40s and has had a very successful career. And I use that as an example about getting the best you can out of failure, because we're all going to fail, all of us, and sometimes for a long time. You're sitting in a very nice building here that we built for $38 million 5 years ago. No one said we could get it done. But the preceding 20 years, I'd looked at almost every piece of real estate in the city to try and buy an old apartment building that we could fix up for students so we could have a place of our own rather than just renting and throwing rent down the drain every month. Started doing that in the late 1970s, really put a lot of time and effort into it in the 80s. No success. So sometimes you have to just keep going and keep working and keep putting one foot in front of the next before you are successful, and then sometimes very successful. The last thing I want to give is just a little bit of advice. And this is not necessarily from me as much as from students that have come before you and our 52,000 alumni, many of whom I've talked to over the last 40 years. And I asked a couple of them one day, what do you think are the 2 or 3 key ingredients that we can tell incoming students that it's their best chance to be successful? And it really distilled to 3 things. And it's aptitude, attitude, and motivation. The aptitude part, frankly, is the easiest. You're all smart enough. You've got a minimum GPA, and most of you have a lot more than what our minimum GPA is. You're accomplished. You're all upperclassmen and juniors and seniors for the most part. You've been around the block once or twice. You're smart enough. That's not going to get in your way. The attitude might get in the way for some of you. I use the analogy, you can look at a glass of water that's 50% and think, geez, it's half empty. You know, where am I going to get some more water? That's not enough. You know, wine, wine, wine. Or you can say it's half full. I'm going to make the most out of that half glass of water. So that kind of attitude will really help you a lot in your internship, because internships are a learning experience for you and a chance for you to ask 1,000,001 questions of your supervisor and your colleagues and learn as much as you can and offer to do extra work. Say, how can I help you? My work is done. I got my work done early, rather than saying, oh, it's 4 o'clock. I'll coast for an hour and a half. Those are the things that will set you apart. Those are the things that people will remember when you ask them to write you a letter of recommendation in 15 very short weeks. Can you all remember what you were doing in September, October? It's not that long ago. That's what you're going to feel in May, only more. This experience is a semester on steroids because it's unique for you. It's a unique experience. You haven't done it before. The vast majority of you have not spent a full working week and then taken a class at night and then had a full day of programming. And then you're trying to see the monuments and maybe a bar or two. Depends on which way you lean. There's a lot of that here too. So attitude is number 2. Number 3 is motivation. Because frankly, if you're smart enough, you've got a really positive attitude, but you're lazy, you just can't hide that. You can't hide it. Not when you're in the same place every day with the same people. They'll catch on. They'll realize they're carrying your load. They don't like it. They'll either tell you about it or freeze you out of the good stuff. So I really don't worry about that with this group because, as Kevin said, you've already showed a strong inclination to be a self-starter. You took a risk to come here. Much easier to stay on campus. And how long does it take you to register for another semester online? You know, pick your 4 or 5 courses. 5 minutes, 10 minutes? I mean, it's just not a big deal. Coming here is a big deal. You've showed a lot already. So I have high hopes for you. I think you're going to be very accomplished, and I look forward to seeing you during the semester. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mike. Question for the room. How many of you all have been super excited about Schoology? Yeah, Kristen has, right? How many of you all have logged into Schoology? Please, every hand be in the air. All right. Well, one of the opportunities that, let me restart that. one of the things Washington Center likes to do is offer our students as many opportunities as possible while they're here in the city. And that often is with the Washington Center, but sometimes it's outside of the Washington Center, all right? So, and we use Schoology as that frame for being able to share with you opportunities, events, those types of things. One opportunity that's with the Washington Center that we shared with you and that I would like to invite our colleagues to speak about was the Tomodachi Initiative. And so I'd like to ask to come to the podium now, the Tomodachi team, to talk about that opportunity for all of you in this room.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chung Lim. I serve as Senior Director for International and Advanced Leadership Programs at the Washington Center. I'm here with my colleague.
Hi, I'm Kyle Bergman. I'm Program Advisor for the Building the Tomodachi Generation program.
So we will be managing a program that's very unique and high impact, high quality, called Building the Tomodachi Generation program. Kyle will introduce this exciting opportunity to US students in this room. International students, I'm sorry, I will see you at J1B's orientation this afternoon. This opportunity is limited to US students only who are US citizens, and my colleague will explain more to you.
Yeah, so what the program is next month, 20 students from Japan will be traveling to DC, and they'll be in DC for 2 weeks, at which point they will go through a series of lectures and panel discussions and site visits that they will learn about how civil society and cross partnerships can be used to address social challenges. And part of that program is 15 of you will partner up with them, and you will go through some of those same educational and leadership opportunities. And then you will be placed on teams, and in your teams with your Japanese counterparts, you will work together on an initiative, and you will work on a proposal of that initiative to a panel of experts. And there'll be 5 teams, and the top 2 teams will have the chance to go on a fully funded study tour to Japan this August. So if that's something you're interested in, please find us outside in the student lounge from 1 to 3 p.m. The deadline is this Saturday night, so please come and see us. There's more information on Schoology, and we hope that a lot of you apply. Thank you.
All sorts of wonderful opportunities here in DC. One of the things that we want you all to continually feel comfortable doing is asking questions. When we have our full body events like this, we normally will have microphones set up so that once our speakers have spoken, you'll have an opportunity to come forward, ask your question, think it through, be articulate, make sure it's a strong question, those kind of things. And so before I move into closing, I want to give you that opportunity now. If you have any questions about orientation, about today, your experience thus far, if I can answer it, I'll certainly refer you to the right person in the room. But are there any questions I can answer for anybody right now? Anything burning in your mind? It's a quiet room. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on the schedule for, I think it's Friday for tomorrow, it said we have to meet with our people at 9 o'clock in the morning and then again at that time.
Okay, I'm going to do a little schedule overview in just a second. So great question. So, good. Hold that thought. Anything else? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
On Schoology, it lists that I think for like the Lead Colloquium and stuff, there's like different trips. Do you have to meet at the sites or like here?
Okay, so let me go ahead and jump onto the schedule a little bit, all right, and what's going to happen tomorrow for folks, because I think that's probably where a lot of your questions are coming from. One of the things we do at the Washington Center, Mike said it best, it's a semester on steroids. We want you to be busy. We want you to have every opportunity possible to shape these next 15 weeks and to really be able to launch you into your professional aspirations after this experience is over. And so when we do that, we throw a lot at you. We keep you busy, all right? And a lot of that is really taking the time to make sure you're aware of everything that's going to be happening. So checking Schoology, looking at your schedules, those kind of things. And it sounds like you guys are doing that, and we want to make sure that it's clear, okay? One of the things that you should know is that tomorrow you will meet with your Lead Colloquium instructor. And so if you look on Schoology, or if you have your schedule with you, if anybody printed it out or grabbed a copy, there is, particularly on Friday, we'll start with the civic engagement piece. There is a left-hand column that says Lead Colloquium SP16 A Crichton 12 o'clock. That's your course title, okay? Is everybody good with that? Shake your heads with me, yeah? All right, course title. On the right is the time that you'll be in that meeting, okay? So for example, using that civic engagement framework, for those of you all who are in Avi Crichton, there he is, his noon Lead Colloquium class, you'll meet in this room at 10:45 for civic engagement, okay? You'll then meet with him at noon for Lead Colloquium, Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, okay, great. For those of you who've asked the question, will you meet with people twice? You will have a lead instructor who will be handling your colloquium, your small group, at a certain time on Friday. Then you also have a professional track advisor, which is also one of these folks. Gets a little confusing, I know. Who will then let you know when your professional track is meeting. So whether that's law and criminal justice, international affairs, those types of things, okay? So really take a look at that schedule. We will have folks out in the lobby today helping with schedule questions. So be sure that you take a look at that and know where you're going tomorrow so that you don't get a little confused or lost. If you are, we're here to help. You'll have tons of resources around you to make sure you're in the right spots, okay? But make sure you check today so that tomorrow you're not late or you missed your small group or you missed your professional track or you missed your civic engagement piece, okay? So we want to make sure that happens. Yes, sir.
I'm not sure if the professional track was posted on Schoology. I know I couldn't find my professional track professor on Schoology. Who would I talk to figure out who my professional track leader is?
Talk to your lead instructor. Okay, thank you. Good question. Good question. So we did the transition earlier, but I'm not sure if it was a clear transition. So for months and months and weeks and maybe longer, you've been working with this internship advisor team, right? You're now going to be handed off magically, and it started a couple weeks ago with Schoology, to the lead instructors. Okay, so moving forward, if you have questions like that, your lead instructor is your contact. Okay, so they'll be the folks who will handle those kind of questions for you. If you have internship issues, those kind of things, those are your folks. All right. Very good, very good. Okay, let me do a couple of just closing announcements, and then I will release the Kraken, so to speak, okay? Many of you all know that we're expecting a storm, right? Student Services talked to you about it last night. You went out and bought your sled. You're ready to go, like all that good stuff. Be safe, right? Be smart. No any delays, cancellations, schedule changes on Schoology, okay? We also have a texting system and an email system that we use for major closures, those kind of things. So know that you'll get several different communications about our schedules. So whether it's a delay, an early dismissal, a full schedule closure, those kind of things. All right. So just know that we're going to hit you with 3 different areas. Schoology is a great place to start. Okay. But you also will receive text if you've given us your mobile number and emails. Okay. So that you get a clear picture of what's happening should we have any snow related issues. And it sounds like we might. We'll see. Okay. We do exactly what everybody else does. Right? We track it, we pay attention to it, our emergency response team coordinates, and then we make a decision about what's best for our students, but as well as our staff. You guys live here, so it's a little easier to say you're all in the building, or at least 2 blocks from the building, right? Our staff, not so much. Some of them have over an hour commute, so we have to be aware of how do we get people in the right places to be able to run the program, all right? I've been asked to remind you all from the Internship Site Relations team that if you have not done so, if you will please do the pre-arrival survey to let them give them feedback about your pre-arrival experience. And I've been told that you all could win $100. So that's pretty exciting, right? Great way to start the semester. So if you have not done so, please jump on to Schoology, take that survey, and let them know about your pre-arrival experience, okay? All right, that's the end of my announcements. What I will say now is that the Washington Center hopes that you all take advantage of every opportunity this semester. My father, when I was younger, used to say, you can sleep when you're dead, okay? That's a great way to think about this semester. Don't get into too much of a habit of sleeping and napping. There's too much to do. You're going to be busy, but you're also going to want to see the city. You're going to want to take part in nightlife, like Mike mentioned. You're going to want to do all the things that you can do only by being here in DC, okay? I know many of you will be like, oh, I'll get to that museum in a couple weeks. And the next thing you know, 15 weeks will go by, you've gotten to know museums, all right? So take time to really plan out what your 15 weeks is going to look like. Take advantage of all the wonderful opportunity, the culture, the diversity, the global experience that we have here in DC, all right? With that being said, I wish you all great luck. I will see you many times throughout the semester. Go forth and prosper.